Yo, we are in the house tonight. We are in the house tonight. Let's go, y'all. We in here, man. This is the time where y'all, get your one together, put it in the air. We're coming down south with it. We're coming to Duval County with it. I got this good bubble going. Yeah. The vibe is right. The mood is right. The day was a good day. The day is a good day. Each and every day, God wake us up. So, we here. Just fall back, get your mind right. And we're going to talk these Bulldogs. We're going to get to it. We're going to talk dogs in general. For disclaimer purposes, we are under the Fair Use Act, and nothing we say here is true. Everything is for entertainment purposes only. Everything is past tense. Nothing is to promote illegal dog fighting or the sales of illegal dog fighting. We here though. Been a long journey, y'all. We finally here, and I'm happy to be here. Tonight we're gonna talk a little bit about these dogs, We're gonna talk about drive, domination, defeat, and destroy. And how those 4 words apply to any dog owner out there who has a dog in the working sector, whether it's a dog who you use to hunt, a dog you use for personal protection. You can kill the drive and those type of dogs, utility dogs. Can be easily done. The dog can encounter a point of domination without you really even being aware of it that has an effect on him later in life, especially a young dog. So we're going to touch on that. Shout out to all the kennels around the world. Shout out to all the people who follow me around the world. Shout out to all the people who support the American Pit Bull Terrier in general. At the end of the day, this is what this is about. It's about the dogs. Me personally, I am strictly about the dogs. I've been on the internet and I've seen individuals, they will claim to be about the dogs, and when you tune in, it's a totally different environment. For the record, let this not be that type of atmosphere. If you have that type of mentality, this ain't the place for you. If you're not into listening, learning, or bringing something positive to the table, this is not the place for you. Um, there will be a lot to learn on this channel. There will be a lot of people interviewed, and we'll do a lot of deep down and dirty dog talk. You know, everybody will run away from certain subjects. Everybody, or they'll get their personal feelings about a subject. Let's not do that here. Let's be open, and even if you don't disagree, agree, because you can agree to disagree, and you can disagree to agree. Those are facts. So, um, tonight we're gonna open up with the drive sector. You know, that's the first D in the 4 Ds of dog training, dog handling, dog ownership, in the sector of owning a utility dog driven on prey. Most likely your hunting dog or your personal protection dog. Me, I have experience in both sectors, whether it's boar hunting or is the personal protection training that I do with my Dutch Shepherd Malinois Cross. My first breed of dog ownership would be the pit bull. I got my first pit bull back in 1992. I was probably 12 years old. And I fell in love with the breed after that. Throughout my lifetime, I've experimented, owned and trained and just adopted different dogs and different breeds. But the pit bull has always and will still remain my favorite, and the Dutch Shepherd Malinois being the second. They're one and the same, so most people will say, "Why do you say it like that?" Because they're one and the same dog. Back to the drive. Being that I actually own the Dutch Shepherd Malinois, the herding dog, it's a dog that I would think, when it comes to prey drive, has the highest prey drive in any dog that I've ever owned or trained or experienced. It is the most highest prey drive when you can get one to go after anything. You can get it to want to chase bottles, bricks, sticks, stones, paper, pencils. It doesn't matter. It's the type of dog that its loyalty to man is so deep. It's so dedicated to man that it will go just about anything. And there's no other dog that I can put up there close to that dog. Compassion for human and the willingness to want to please human is the pit bull. They are two dogs that I think that run neck and neck when it comes to bonding with human. There's other dogs out there that I've owned personally that they are good home dogs, good house dogs, but they don't have the want and need for human contact, human smell, human touch as much as those two breeds. I mean, if you own the pit bull or a Dutch Shepherd or Malinois, you're pretty sure if they're around the house and you have a clothing closet where you keep dirty clothes, they're prone to find them and go near your clothes when you're absent. Pit bull is pretty much the same. When it comes to those two dogs drive, they're running neck and neck. Out of all dogs when it comes to prey drive. And that's why you can look on the internet and you can see guys, they have out their foot pole and their dog would chase it. And some of it I'm pleased with, and some of it I say, okay, this guy's on point. Because the dog really, really extremely wants the toy bad. And I think guys missed the key behind fur polling. They actually give the dog the skin on the end, the rubber piece on the end, the favorite toy on the end, the rope on the end of the string and the pole, whatever. They'll let the dog actually engage in a bite on that item, and they let them do it, repetitively throughout. The dog's trying to, trying to get the dog to actually build the dog drive, and they never, in that way, build the dog's drive. If the dog is mediocre, like he's stuck in that position because you are satisfying his need by allowing him to put his mouth on it after you have shown him this is what he gets reward from and this is what you praise him for. And now that he's doing it, you're giving it to him every so often. And the drive really is not building as high as it should be or it could. And this is the key. And I want you guys to take this home with you. The key is once you introduce him to a flirt pole item, whatever the item is that you use on the end of the string and pole, whatever his favorite toy is, whatever he likes the most, that's the item you would probably want to start with. You would get him to where he wants to always play, where he likes to play that game and chase that item around, and you would drag him around. And then you would start to back tie that dog and don't let him get it. Like you would let him see it, pull it out, let him see it, bring it in front of him, let him chase it around a few little times, take it around him, and then boom, the game is over. It's not long lasting. It's not repetitive. It's not a lot. He just got really excited, wanted to play the game. He was jumping up and down. Then the game is over, and then boom, back to the crate, back to the kennel, back to housing. Because this is a utility dog. You're training him to become more motivated. When the more he gets motivated for an item, then the closer you may get to him, and then boom, the game is over. Every now and then you will give him a bite, but you make it seldom. You don't be repetitive with letting the dog tug on the item up and down, and I mean to a point where you feel like you're working the dog. It's not the ideal. You can generally work the dog harder when he sees an item and he gets extremely excited to where he begins to pace back and forth. He begins to run around in circles. He begins to demonstrate how bad he wants to engage with that item. And you will see it. You will see it. Some jump up and down, and the less you give it to him, the more the excitement builds up. And though that's the key to building drive, guys. You know, that's just the key right there to building up drive, is to not to introduce them to a prey item. Um, when I say prey, it's a broad spectrum. It can be live prey. It can be such as a rag. Um, Depends on what you're into. Again, because like you can be doing the same technique would be used in hunting as it would be in personal protection, because you would start off with an item and then you would change the item, and the dog is used to going after items on the string, different items, and you would put bite sleeves on the end of the pole and string, a training bite sleeve, and start to do that, and then you would gradually have an individual to slip it on his arm, and then you would give a dog a bite, you know, in that aspect, and that's how you build up drive. And me personally, I like a high driven dog, a dog that is out in control for its job to bite a man, you know, to bite a hog when I'm doing hog hunting. With the pit bull terrier, like I want it to, when it sees a hog, I want it to go off like a ticking time bomb. Like it knows, like, oh my God, this is it, you know, because every time I was, I know how long I've been teased by seeing this thing from distances. I've seen this thing at night because he's took me out at night, and all of a sudden this thing came out of nowhere and a stick in the pole, and I got an individual busting out from behind the car with a stick in the pole and dragging it, and this dog is seeing this same item that it is crazy about. It is lighting up because I'm putting the dog in different environments. I'm taking it through different stages, and the dog is forgetting about its surroundings. Then it's going into full drive. Is it going into what mode? It's going into that mode of, I don't care about shit else but this particular item. And guys say commands. I'm a master at commands because when I want my animal to see a hog, and when it sees it, I give command and it knows that's what I mean. Get it, get it, get it. I mean, go get them. Like, and it knows its job. It knows what it's supposed to do, and that's where I. That's what I like in a dog. I mean, everybody can't stand the high driven dog. I like a dog that's so out of control. Even with my protection dogs, I like a dog that's so high driven that it wants to bite a man so bad that if it nearly almost want to, if I'm mishandling it, wants to bite me to get a loose to bite you. You know, that's the drive that you can build in a dog if you don't be so eager to please the dog with whatever prey item you're using to motivate drive, guys. So that's where I'm at with drive, and I think that'll cover that. So we're gonna move over to the domination sector, and the domination sector is really an important sector when you're dealing with a dog with high drive, because these are stages. You're building drive first, guys. That'll be the first thing you want to do with a dog, is to build his drive as high as possible. Get it to want its prey item so bad that it gives you the reaction that is going crazy. You know, that's to try to get it to go as crazy as possible over its prey item, whether it's a rag, a bottle, a stick, a hog, a deer, a person. Because again, I do personal protection training with pit bulls, Dutch shepherds, chihuahuas, collies. It doesn't matter. If you want a biting dog, you know, hit me up at my email, fullbitekennel@gmail.com. Um, I can help you out. I do a lot of virtual trainings. So if any of you guys interested in doing virtual trainings online, I can help you out and give you tips on how to, you know, train your dog. And training your dog is all a part of this section here, domination, guys. When you're dealing with a dog, you're talking about a pack animal. And in that pack, there's always a dominant leader. Um, we, as humans, when we are taking on a dog, we want to establish ourselves as that dominant pack leader that this dog is running with. You know, as crazy as it sounds, it is the absolute truth. You have introduced this dog to drive, and respectfully, this dog is now looking up to you for direction. And if you're in the sector of hunting, if you're in the sector or of if you're in the sector of hunting, or if you're in the sector of um personal protection dogs, this is something I want you guys to know. You don't want to ever want that type of utility dog to ever be dominated. In the instance of this dog is being introduced and trained to be a bad MF, you know. So and that's another thing, guys, too. You know, I am a well-spoken individual, and I choose not to like really bring the profanity to my channel. I mean, sometimes it could come out, or we could say something, but in the terms of profane language, but I choose not to use it. I don't know how YouTube is about it on the channels, but any like profane words or even comments, guys, if you got something negative to say, you don't say it in a profane way. Just speak your mind, and then we'll move on from there. But back to the dominance thing, you don't want that kind of dog to ever be dominated by anything. At any point in time, you want this young dog, or I preferably start dogs when you're dealing with prey driven dogs young. I don't care what sector you're going in. If it's a prey driven dog, start young. Um, Old dogs, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. It's the true thing. Old dogs you had around the house, you don't want to take the motherfucker out and try to put him in front of a boar. Again, there it is, the profane language. But anyway, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. And the profane language is there because I kind of get upset about people doing idiotic things, such as you just don't want to do that. You know, because the dog is a house dog. He's been around the house. He's never seen a hog. Why would you wait till the dog is 5 years old, 6 years old, 4 years old, and take him out and put him in front of a big wild boar? It just don't make sense. Just don't make sense. Don't make sense at all. Um, for guys who got young dogs, I advise you, if you do put them in front of a boar at 3, 4 months, you let them see them. I mean, choose a small pig, a very small pig for small puppies. They're piglets for puppies. Um, if you're in that sector, and see if your puppies, see if the game is one to chase the piglet around, and give them hell. That's how you would go about that. But you don't never want that dog to ever be dominated by man or animal or nothing through certain phases of its life, being trained to be prey driven. I don't know if anybody get that, but again, you don't want the dog to ever be dominated by man or animal if you are choosing to send this dog in the sector of being a prey driven dog. Meaning it's going to bite, it's going to use its mouth, it's going to go after things and want to bite it, you know. That's just about it on that. I believe that's my personal opinion. Um, and simply because I've ever doing anything other than, you know, shout out to one of my partners. He's a good friend of mine at Vanguard Canine. He does a lot of protection training. I think he has a litter of puppies available as well. So you guys go over to his channel too and look at those beautiful Dutch Shepherds that he is out there putting out there to keep homes safe, keep properties safe, keep businesses straight. Like he's a good gentleman, and I'm pretty sure he can get you a good puppy for a good price. But he was the one of the first individuals that I ever met in the dog community, period, because his sector of dogs is very wide. To say that he knows just one dog would be insult to his name. We should, I say, call him the master. And he broke it down to me, man. If you want to see a dog that's a real deal killer, just love him, put him somewhere, and get him prey driven to where he likes a certain thing, and then if you introducing him to a man, you start bringing men around and see how he responds, but never let him put pressure on him to intimidate him, to dominate him, to let's encourage him to be who he can be fully himself. Let's see who he becomes by, just let him be a dog, let him feel his raw oats is what some would say. But yeah, that's where I'm at with the domination thing. And we'll get on to the defeat. Once you have let a dog experience domination in a form where it's another animal or another human, they have cowered the dog, Kurt the dog in his young stages of his life or training, in these sectors where we use these dogs for prey hunting. We pretty much we pretty much we pretty much have going to the end and the last word destroyed the dog. Once he's experienced defeat, you destroyed the dog because he knows now what it feels like to be coward, to be cur. And if that's the action you let him display or accidentally got displayed with this dog, then chances are in the near future when it should be time for the dog to get pressure and a lot of pressure, he's gonna fold. Cause not to say pressure will never come during the time that you are training this dog to be a prey-driven dog. You're just not gonna let the dog be dominated for a certain time period. Depends on the breed. That would determine what age and time you would introduce the dog to pressure. With pit bulls, if it comes down to humans, you would not want to start off with pressure with pit bulls. They are already kind of shy, driven dogs and man-pleasing dogs. So you would tend to let a pit bull grow and get grown and then bring a lot of pressure to it immediately and it'll snap. Bam! And then once it snaps, that's it. The traits of being a American Pit Bull Terrier bred and designed for sport, all those genetics will push forward and you will see the dog display a real high level aggression for a man. Dogs like Dutch Shepherds, Malinois, those dogs you can get to bite a man, hell, a month, 2 months. Shit. No, just realistically speaking, 3 months, those dogs are biting people. You can get them to bite. I've seen it. Shout out to Vanguard K9. I've seen it. Yeah, you don't want a dog you're using to go down in the woods and hunt, 100-pound, 200-pound boars to have experienced defeat. There's a big chance he could fail. I do a lot of content on my YouTube, on my Facebook channel, and I know the guys see a lot of the content I post with hogs and dogs, and I see some people say the dog is too young. They make a lot of excuses for the dog not even knowing, hell, this dog could be a 3-year-old damn dog that just was in here that just did this, that reacted like this, versus probably one of my 9-month-old pups. Probably give the biggest hog all the hell he wants, single-handedly, not with any help. So I mean, you get some that cut and some that don't. That's just how it is when you're breeding these purebred pit bull terriers, when you're breeding Dutch shepherds, just to get some that cut, some that don't. I don't know. I don't know about Dutch Shepherds and Malinois. I've had a lot of litters of those dogs, and I can honestly say that they don't throw fucked up dogs. They don't throw dogs that, they just don't throw dogs, bad dogs. Excuse my French. They just don't throw bad dogs at all. They just don't. They're not like that. I don't know what it is. Seemingly all the dogs have a stronghold somewhere in the many sectors that it can perform in the utilities field. I mean, like, if it's not a good biting dog, then hell, it has a good nose for bomb detection and gun and, just tracking. Like, if it don't bite good, then hell, it's finding bombs. Yeah, that way. So I mean, the pit bull terrier. I mean, you get just some that just, if you lose, you lose. If you own, you own. You may get a litter of 6, and hey, you only got one of them all right. The rest of them are just straight cold, scared, different type of behaviors. It's just how it is when you're breeding purebred dogs. I mean, some gonna do it, some ain't. You just got to be a good handler, a good judgment of handler. I mean, that all comes down to, like, these dogs getting dominated and things of this nature. That this all revolves and goes back to the handler. The handler putting the dog in a situation where he's ruining the dog, not even knowing it, and he's bragging and boasting how good the dog is, not knowing himself that the dog has experienced defeat. You have already embedded that. When anybody that knows any animal species, when any animal species curls and rolls over basically on his back and licks at the other animal's mouth, it is showing a sign of submission. It is being dominated. Um, that's an action you don't want to be displayed when it comes to prey animals of prey. Just you don't want them to do that. You don't want them to go through that. You want the more confidence you build in it, the less it's deterred from what it likes. The most highly and likely you're gonna have a bona fide ace in that sector. And not meaning just because of ace, you can't be outclassed. Like, there's not better dogs out there. Yeah, there are. But I would rather be outclassed than curd on any day. Just sorry. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be going down in the woods and my dog come running back and there's a 200-pound hog behind him chasing me and him. I don't want a man to walk through my door and the dog goes to charge and he just slaps the dog and the dog remembers being slapped before and curls up and pees on itself. I don't want that. So, I mean, to each his own. But I've been around dogs a long, long time, especially a pit bull. A pit bull is, like I say, my favorite dog. And if you are using it in the sectors of prey, if you let it experience defeat, you have destroyed the dog. Because it's just a program. It's how the dog is built. Once it knows something at a young age, it always stays with them. You can have a pit bull puppy, and it could be too young, and you can let it hear the wrong sound too loud, and forever it'll be scared of sound. Just the way it goes. I mean, well, that's it. This live tonight. I hope everybody enjoy the educational parts of this live, and I look forward to seeing people back here the next time I do a live. I know a lot of people, it don't look like no one tuned in, but maybe, hopefully, next time some people tune in and we get it going. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Until the next time, I'll see you guys again. Enjoy. Happy New Year.